right. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Chelle. Welcome to the Dr. Test Prep YouTube channel. I am truly honored that you're letting me be part of your PSAT and SAT prep journey. I truly hope these videos will help you be the best that you can be. Now, a little bit ironically, I do focus on using the Desmos calculator, but in these examples, I intentionally chose not to, just for this one lesson, because I don't know what you're going to expect. And I want to show you some things that might help you. So let's look at this complex fraction in number 4. If you have my book, we're on page 149. If you don't have my book, just get paper and pencil. All right, simplify the expression. Now notice how we have fractions in the numerator and fractions in the denominator. The best thing that we can do is just get rid of the fractions. And I notice that I have a single x and a single y in the top, and then I have an xy on the bottom. So the way that we're going to get rid of the fractions is we're going to multiply each, you know what, I really want to do a smaller tip. We're going to multiply each one of these by xy. And we can do that because whatever we do to the numerator, we do to the denominator. And I'll just leave it like that. I can go into more detail, but I don't want to. It's not the purpose of this video. When I do that, immediately these xy's cancel out. So I'm left just with my denominator with a 1. Here, I notice I have an x in the numerator and an x in the denominator, so I can cancel out those x's. So I'm just left with 3y. Here, I notice I have a y in the numerator and a y in the denominator, but not an x. But so I can cancel out the y's, but the x stays. So this is my final answer. 3y plus 2x. Done. Let's look at this next one. Here, we don't have to worry about multiplying or anything because it's already multiplication. So now it's just a matter of canceling. I'd like to start with, what do I notice first? I notice this x by itself, and I notice that I have an x up here. Because they both have an exponent of 1, I can just cancel those out. I notice I have a 4 in the numerator and an 8 in the denominator. Both of those are divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I'm going to cross this out and make it a 1, and cross this out and make it a 2. Now I'll look at my next denominator to see if there's anything that I can reduce. I notice that I see a 7 and a 14. Well, 7 times 2 is 14. So I can cross this 7 out and make this 14, say a 2. So now I'm just left with z's on the bottom. Let's do the z's first. I notice I have 2 z's here and 1 z here. 1 z. So I can take this one out and just cancel one of these. And I'm not quite done yet, because notice how I have a 2 here and a 2 here. Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So these cancel. So I'm left with y. I was trying to change colors for you. Y times y, which is y squared, divided by z. And that's the answer. All right, let's look at the next one. This next one is similar to the top, except notice now that we have an x squared. So instead of multiplying everything by xy, we're going to multiply everything by x squared y. So here, this will be x squared y. This term will be times x squared y. And this term will be times x squared y. So when I do my cancellation, I notice that I have an x squared in the numerator and an x squared in the denominator, so they cancel. So I'm left with just 2y. 2y. Here, then I have my minus sign. Here I notice that the y's cancel, but I'm left with this 4 and the x squared. When I look at the denominator, I see I have 1x here and 2x's here, so this one can cancel out. And I notice that I have a y and a y, and these can cancel out. So I'm left with 2x. Now, the catch is that This doesn't have an X, so I can't do any cancellations. But I notice that all of these numbers are divisible by 2. So what we're going to do is the technical thing that we're doing is we're factoring a 2 out of the numerator. And when we do that, we can cancel these 2's out. So our final answer is y minus 2x squared divided by x. Now we can rewrite this as 2 separate ideas or terms. So we can also say y divided by x minus 2x squared divided by x. And when that happens, we can cancel out. So now we could do y divided by x minus 2x. Now I'm confident that any of these will end up being multiple choice questions because there's no way to really type this into the calc or into a student response. But I just want to give you an idea. Like there is a process that you can do just in case you get easier ones that you won't need the calculator for. All right, I promise the next videos we are using that Desmos calculator a ton, okay? But before we do, head back over to Khan Academy because we just did the harder questions. Because remember, my program just complements the effectiveness of Khan. I'm teaching you usually how to use the Desmos calculator. So go back to Khan, do Unit 8, Lesson 4. Those questions will all be multiple choice. So you'll be able to just type in the expression in the one function, type in the answer choices, and match the graph. Okay. All right. When you're done, come back over. We'll do Unit 8, Lesson 5. Bye, guys. You're amazing.